Hola, familia estelar. You did not land here by chance. That is correct. You've entered into a sacred world line collision where you found yourself at a particular time and space and time where this transmission has materialized into reality, because not only is your life going through a rebirth, but you are. This is about you becoming reborn. And we have landed at a very particular coordinate within space and time at the temple of Chucuito, also known as Inca Uyo, or the temple of fertility. So this is a cycle of abundance. It's the cycle of, the Empress energy, the divine feminine aspect of yourself. And that's about the non-physical aspect, the one that is more fluid, the one that is more formless, moving through this field of form. And I'm hearing bringing the non-physical into the physical, and you being a stargate. In Andean belief, such phallic symbols that we can see here are actually dedicated to Pachamama, also known as Mother Earth, and it's a reminder that Earth is a conscious laboratory designed for soul expansion, but also it's a representation and symbol of growth, reproduction, and things that you're producing in this reality that are designed to flourish into their most abundant form. So you're very fertile, or something that you're seeding into this realm is very fertile. This place reminds us that matter is conscious and alive. Creation is not just something that I'm hearing, manipulate in this realm from will alone, but it is an act of collaboration with these elemental factors, and you being able to work with the fertile field of this existence. So Inca Uyo represents Pachamama, right? The Mother Earth, and also Earth being a womb. If you think about it, it's almost as if it is this conscious womb that allows you to grow and evolve constantly and reach a state where that internal growth that you've gone through actually manifests into a physical and tangible thing. So the Empress is an archetype that we're working with today. As you can see, she is here, she is fertile, she's also depicted as the peacock. And this is about you seeding timelines and realities, especially because she came out side by side with the Lovers. And the Lovers is about you being at a choice point. Do you want to continue creating things consciously or unconsciously that are familiar? Or do you want to step into a new season of creation? So this is about the Empress teaching us that birth is more than just physical in this realm. This is also about etheric rebirth that you're going through. So to sit in the stone of circles that we're in right now is to recognize the ability that you have to seed new projects, relationships, especially with the Lovers, even the relationship that you have to yourself and your soul and the non-physical aspect, and also quantum possibilities as well, ideas that will sprout in their own season. And it's trusting in those cycles, but your thoughts, words, and actions become seeds. The temple itself becomes a mirror of that internal garden. And this is about remembering that cyclical cycle of creation that you're going through. So this site invites us to step into that level of awareness where there is an ever unfolding cycle that we're planting, and we're also going through this gestation period where there is the emergence of a new you and also a new life, whether that be dreams, crops, identities. This is about you asking what aspect of your life you're seeding during this time. And this is also you being a soul that's seeded onto this planet to be able to experience major growth. So I would ask you the question, what aspect or area of your life is ready to be conceived, nurtured, and also eventually born? And there is a knowing that this seed is already planted. It is already a tree and a seed simultaneously, because within the seed holds the DNA, within you holds the memory of everything that has already come to be, but you get to witness the linear unfoldment of that. So with the Empress of the Peacock, this says, you come upon a glowing doorway. In the middle of the shallow pool of water, the peacock sits atop the door, and its feathers cascade down with eyes that seem to follow your every move. As you lock eyes with the bird, a feeling of ease washes over you. It is a gatekeeper between your physical world and also the spirit plane. It gives you reassurance that you are moving forward and will lead to another fertile life. The pulsing colors within the door call you towards it and allow you to step through, unsure of what is to come. You're in an incredibly fertile season in your life. If you think about the Empress, this is growth that's happening, that's unannounced, and often in the early stages goes unnoticed. But eventually, there will be physical signs, I'm seeing, that will collapse into your experience. The peacock lives between two worlds. It is a reminder that it's possible to find a happy balance between things like work and love and grounded and the spiritual. This card is about nurturing yourself and finding peace in the world that you live in. When you see the peacock in a reading, it can also be representative of an increasingly strong bond to the earth, especially with Pachamama, or a need to reconnect with it. So this is about reconnecting with your true nature, reconnecting with the fact that you have always been a highly abundant being, and you're removing or discarding any belief systems that have been distorting or clouding your vision from being able to see yourself clearly in this realm as a true creator. This can be a card that speaks about great unions of unlikely things, and it asks you to keep an open mind whenever possible. And then you have the Lovers, right? And the Lovers is about a split of timelines and also a new relationship I'm hearing that's being fostered in your reality. It could be your relationship to something or someone. And then you have the Lovers, which is also a soulmate card in this deck. And this is a split of timelines, right? Where there are certain things that your soul is calling you to do during this time. There's certain things that your soul is calling you to seed. And it could be an intention, a creative spark that will then manifest into form, especially as you take action to support the soul's intentions. That's what it feels like, because the divine feminine is the non-physical. You merging that with the masculine, which is the physical, and actually aligning your actions accordingly to support the vision that you're having leads to the triad, right? It leads to the third. It leads to mastery over matter, because you've mastered your ability to act and support this. It feels like a pre-soul, pre-incarnation intention, and overcome the doubt in the physical, and also the illusion of separation between you and this thing. So soulmates talk about a bright flash is going to reveal itself to you in a cosmic embrace. This is a moment where you can feel safe and loved. We travel through time with these souls, and each one changes us into who we are meant to become. Some challenge us and others lift us up when we are on the edge of light. Through them, you feel absolute love, and this pure state of awareness that you're coming back to, and that is seated in the physical vessel that you've incarnated into, is leading you to be able to take grounded action. That's also what it feels like. And that's where unconditional love emerges. That's where you still act even in the presence of that fear. This is about you being vulnerable and content with yourself. And this is a spark that's unmistakable. I do feel like it's your relationship to something that you're building in this reality, because you have the Three of Pentacles, which is somebody building a brick house in this depiction. And it starts from nothing. So this is something you're building from the ground up. It also can represent a level up, but this is about the willingness that you have to grow. It also talks about hard work that you're putting in to support this. And it says, after spending time in the hot desert, tending to the stubborn soil, there is finally a moment of blooming satisfaction and relief. A puffy cloud covers the harsh sun and offers a chance for cooling down. The sprouts have grown into majestic Joshua trees, while flowers and other flora have found a new home in the cracks on the surface. There is nothing more satisfying than seeing your hard work pay off. And I'm seeing sometimes seeds can blossom and sprout in the most unexpected places. That's also what I'm seeing again. They can blossom between cracks in the pavement, stones in the wall. So there is something about you kind of blossoming as an anomaly during this time. When this card shows up, it's a sign of your strong determination and willingness to grow. The work you've spent endless hours on is starting to bear fruit. This is a sign to keep going. Your work is not done yet, but you are surely heading in the right direction. So even though something may not be totally in physical, I'm literally resting you on top of a phallus right now. It's like, again, it's time to rest in the knowing. That's what it feels like. It's time to rest in the knowing. And I'm seeing pregnancy signs that are showing during this time. So there is a lot of clarification that you've been receiving in regards to you being on the right track. And when I say on the right track, I mean you kind of supporting this intention. Now, these energies are also super interesting because the first one is Archangel. So again, this is about you applying higher levels of interdimensional awareness as you navigate this cosmic overlay. Star connections is also knowing that you have remembered your starry origins and you roam this earth according to that divine essence. Okay, again, knowing that earth is a conscious laboratory designed for growth. All right. And then you have blessings beyond the soul path. We'll go ahead and read this. So this is something that you're taking with you after this lifetime. And then ether and matter, which is where spirit meets matter. So you're living according to that non-physical intention that you have. And the last one is healing. So healing is about integration. Integration is about becoming whole with the soul. And I'm hearing moving in that unified existence. You also have 111 destiny. So this message talks about follow what you feel, listen as your intuition helps to guide you to what you are manifesting. The inner whispers are helping you to create all it is that you desire. Listen and lean in and follow your soul. So again, following the soul's callings in the physical. But the intuition is the non-physical aspect of yourself. The intuition is the soul. So what is your soul calling you to do? What is your soul calling you to nurture and care and tend to? The affirmation is life is always happening for me. I'm allowing myself to lean into what feels good. And more than just happening for you, this is something that's happening through you during this time. The rebirth that you're going through is leading to a rebirth in your life. Now, with your cosmic oracle messages, you have collapse. You also have entropy and supernova. So collapse talks about the collapse of an old system and you reaching a culmination point where how you've navigated life on earth before coming into this remembrance with yourself, which is an integration with your soul. It's knowing that as you incarnated into this realm, you fell into a human amnesia and had forgotten your starry origins. And now you're coming back online. So you're picking up where you left off. That's what it feels like. You're now kind of getting started, and that's why it feels like a new life within this lifetime, because you've now remembered yourself and you're in alignment with what your intentions were before this incarnation. But up until this point, there was an unconscious navigation that was taking place, but now there's something around a conscious creation that you're stepping into. Your next message is entropy, and entropy talks about loss or order of a system where there is a breaking down and a falling apart before things recalibrate and begin to fall into place for you. Entropy indicates the level of a molecular uncertainty of the system. So I'm hearing this is confusion before clarity emerges in regards to the how and the when. I'm hearing like the due date for something, but you know what you want to birth into creation, and you know where you want that rebirth. I'm hearing not just to take you, but also the rebirth that I'm seeing like a magnet that you draw in. Okay, so this is like a rebirth of experiences. It feels like a rebirth into an entirely higher octave system. So this is like new ecosystem filled with new, I'm hearing selection of timelines for you. So something that you're birthing into creation is going to open up a new stream or network. That's what it feels like. Entropy indicates the level of a molecular uncertainty of a system. It is the measure of the amount of energy which is lost due to being unavailable to do work. It is the transition from a disorderly state into an even more disorderly state. There are notions of a microscopic order and disorder, uncertainty, a set of messages of which only one will be received. The word entropy comes from the Greek meaning of confusion derived from a twisting motion. turn around, return, or change the layout. And this is about an internal layout when it comes to the foundation of you really just shifting and that leading to a new layout that you're about to experience in your reality. And if you're thinking about a layout, usually it is the fundamental foundation that is going to support whatever it is that you're building. So this is a new foundation that is being built to sustain this intention. At first look, entropy shows up as disproportion. We improve by putting order in that molecular confusion. Get down to earth, introduce organization, and establish your ideas so you can clear your hesitation. So there is a culmination point. Now, collapse also talks about energy that's being rechanneled. So things that you used to value, I'm hearing hold no weight now. And I'm seeing gold, so there's an alchemical process that you've gone through where you cannot unsee whatever it is that you've seen or come back into alignment with. That's what it feels like. There is no other way of navigating this existence other than supporting the intentions that you had, because I'm hearing seeing that through is something that you're going to bring forth with you. It's about some kind of etheric accomplishment, navigating this realm. This is something that goes beyond you. That's what it feels like, for sure. It's something that goes beyond you. It says this is not to say that it's negative, but rather the previous way that the system operated has now come to an end. So again, now that you've remembered yourself, who are you from this moment moving forward? That's what it feels like. There is a complete rebirth where it's not you changing who you are, it's that you're being reborn because you're discarding all the things you were not, all the things that have been disrupting the way that you create in this existence as a natural born creator. You created this conscious laboratory for you to begin to navigate. And I'm hearing you're navigating that with a new physical law inside of yourself, where there are no bounds. I'm hearing this is you becoming boundless and limitless, and the limitations that one applies upon themselves. So the collapse destroys the old way to see new linking forms reborn, and we cannot predict if this will be sustained or instead new links will be formed. If reunification is possible, then the system will be reformed from another place. All that is clear is that it will either be in a new way or not. So you've seen something that you can't unsee. Now it's whether you want to support this vision. And then lastly, you have supernova. So this talks about the birth and death of new stars, but a rebirth cannot happen without firstly there being an ending. So there's definitely an ending taking place. It says, can we talk about life without death and vice versa? And this is about your relationship with an ending in your life, an old way of navigating this existence, and honoring that you did the best with the information that you had, but it feels like you're receiving new information from this point moving forward, and it's time to integrate and implement that into the way that you move through this existence. And with that, a new existence begins to move through you, and a new reality emerges to reflect and correspond with that internal transformation that's taking place. And I'm hearing that integration that's taking place. Cycles of death and birth run through our entire existence. At times, it's easy to detect when something is coming to an end based on the way in which a sequence of events unfolds. However, sometimes events can happen in an unexpected, sudden way, leading directly to the death of the old, which is immediately followed by the birth of something new. How can we predict that something like this will happen? It is unpredictable. So this is definitely a huge shift that has occurred. It also talks about lightning bolts. So this is definitely, if you think about lightning, it's plasma. Plasma is also sourced from the sun that emits photons. So this is again level of information that you're literally absorbing on a cellular level and intercommunication that's happening. This is the conversing between ether and matter, the interface of where your spiritual essence meets this carbon-based life form for your plasma origins to experience life on Earth through in this terrestrial plane. And the conversation is already happening within you in regards to how congruently are you moving to actually support this vision that goes beyond you. And when I say beyond you, I mean beyond this lifetime. This is about etheric growth that you'll take with you after this experience. So the birth of a new star through a powerful stellar explosion. This is leading to everything external, which is the universe speaking to you through everything around you, is leading to a new stellar network. And this is showing you a way back to your own cosmic origins, but the map is internal. No one else is going to be able to show you the way. This is where you sitting in silence and stillness, right, in the feminine and the nothingness, is where the answers will become very, very clear to you. So it's a large explosion that takes place in space and can be seen with the naked eye. They can be so bright that they eclipse their own galaxies, and it's similar to the Big Bang, which is not just a small rebirth. This is like literally the birth of a new universe. So old physical laws that you had set upon yourself internally, which are belief systems that create limits for yourself. I'm hearing the belief that you cannot do something is going to be dissolving during this time, because I'm seeing your awareness be a light that begins to restore the runway of life force or infinite potential flowing through you, and then also bleeding into everything that you choose to do in this realm as a creator. So you, the universe, experiencing itself as human. Every universe has physical laws that dictate the distinct life forms that will begin to manifest, and the archetypal manifestations that will begin to take form. And there are new physical laws that are being, it feels like, rewritten. Okay, so this is almost like you rewriting your life story, but it can feel like this is happening within a lifetime. Like this is a rebirth that's happening in a lifetime for you. You're having many lifetimes in this lifetime alone, and that's consciousness rising up to a new level, almost like a baptism that's taking place, where you look back at yourself in a linear fashion. And I'm hearing it becomes like not a historic mark, a mark left in history, but it kind of becomes a landmark for you, or a reality marker to remind you how far it is that you've come. Now, you also have 2 shaman dream oracle messages. Both of them together are super interesting, because the first one is Winter's Dream Gestation Period. And basically this message talks about it's not a time to go unconscious or in autopilot, especially in regards to, I'm hearing sensitive information that you've received, because I'm hearing something could also be time sensitive, especially if you think about the reproductive cycle and going through, that's like a beetle heading this way, and going through these, what's it called, fertile cycles. And then you also have Caterpillar, which literally talks about a rebirth taking place in your life, and it talks about giving yourself permission to kind of practice the outrageous right now, and not asking for permission to do so. So this isn't about you seeking external applaud or permission to do what it is that you've known, I'm hearing, that you needed to do for a long time. But this is about invoking a look of awe or a frown from those around you. So you're definitely going to be leading yourself in a new way, and that's going to have a ripple effect with the supernova energy. It's definitely going to have a ripple effect that you're sending out. And I'm hearing, don't underestimate the impact that you'll have as well. Because the thing is, as you evolve into a higher octave, the things that you're doing will also begin to ascend with you. So this is also probably new projects or other things that you're taking on during this time. Now, this is Earth angelic energy, and if you think about it, these are plasma life forms that cross over in this realm, and they're part of a counterpart Earth in this intricate, divine, invisible blueprint and matrix. And they can cross over and engage with you in your 3rd dimensional journey. Now, you are also a plasma life form that has crossed over and manifested into physical form. So your connection with your plasma origins and also other angels encoded into your field are very, very strong and prominent because that's your point of origin. And you carry that knowing as you move through this existence. So you have angelic frequency and earth angel, and we'll talk about it. You also have the Pleiadian activation message. So let me go ahead and show you it real quick. So this is angelic frequency, potent connection, you are safe. And the message is, angels are drawing close to you during this time, so be open to signs and synchronicities that confirm this. It's important for you to know that through your actions, choices, and service, you have upgraded your spiritual connection to your frequency. Rejoice, for you may be rewarded with abundance and blessings at this time. And you have been making choices that are not just for your own greater good, but for all of those around you. So you're here to mirror a different example. That's what it looks like. You're not here to mirror the wounds of... I'm hearing the wounds that belief systems can create for you, because it will wound you when you have to account for the beliefs that you held as physical laws within your own internal universe became your biggest barrier from entering into your highest timelines possible. That's something you'll account for when you reach a place of either trauma or the afterlife, and the human condition lifts. You look at life through the lens of the soul. You see the Akashic records, which is the memory of everything that has already come to be, that will, could, and will ever exist. And your belief systems had kept you in a very localized universe. That's what it feels like, of multiverses that were accessible to you. So your guardian angels with you now, helping you remember your infinite potential and power. Reach for the stars and trust that all the efforts you have been making, both internally and externally, will bring blessings and opportunities. The path that you're on is aligned with your highest good, and the support that you need is there for you. You are cherished by angels. And your next message is Pleiadian activation. So this is about coming together, harmony in the heavens, as well as resolution. So that's the Pleiadian activation. So you could be deeply connected with the Pleiades and the remembrance of the non-physical form that you originate from, but this talks about Pleiadian energy is coming together in peace and harmony. You were blessed to receive this gateway, for it is a powerful message of assurance that whatever uncomfortable energy you're experiencing right now will soon be washed away. And I'm hearing this is getting used to a new normal, especially in regards to what it looks like to move through this existence as a being who deeply trusts themselves. So it looks like you've cultivated a strong sense of self-trust in your ability to create the things that you desire in this reality, and that's basically to support a creative spark. And as you do that with physical action, you build momentum and this velocity that collapses a thought form through space and time, and it materializes into your reality. The Pleiadians are beings who live in complete honor of their planets and their people. They acknowledge that in seeing and connecting with one another, they have the opportunity to see and experience the divine. They also know the consequences of disrespecting others. It's for this reason that is no longer possible for them. If you're being challenged by loved ones now, aim to shift the dynamics of this relationship through a loving approach. The lesson you're facing at this time is the opportunity to heal old wounds and operate from this higher state of being. So this is the opportunity that you have during this period of time to actually no longer reinforce the same expectations that maybe others have had of you, or old ways of navigating this realm. And that's going to lead to certain nucleuses of a family breakdown, because over time you're going to be mirroring a different example. And in doing that, you're going to remind other deities who have become lost in sleeping in matter that they also have the potential, I'm hearing, to create the reality that they desire. And that knowing informs matter, and matter reallocates itself and reconfigures itself to mirror that internal knowing. That's what it feels like is happening with you. So that could be a triggering point, potentially. That definitely could be a triggering point. So let's start with you, because the first star child message we have is Archangel. This message talks about kindness that you have, sensitivity, being of strength, and also a higher perspective in your divine abilities. I am guided by divine messengers in all situations. So earth angels bring healing and compassion to the world through their gentle nature. There are incarnated angels and an aspect of them in the angelic realms. Do you know a little angel, a child who emanates much love? They need their gentleness to be reciprocated because they are not used to the bluntness in this realm they originate from. The earth angel needs compassion because they feel others very, very deeply. So this is about a deep compassion that you're fostering and cultivating for yourself right now, because not everyone is going to understand. You think that you need others to understand you or what it is that you're doing, but in reality, this is about you understanding yourself. You can give yourself what it is that you think the external can provide for you. That's a very strong energy during this time. And from that state of awareness, true unconditional love emerges because you foster a deep sense of unconditional acceptance for yourself and also others. The next message you have is Star Connection. I love this card because it talks about connecting with a higher octave of yourself, existing at a high level of understanding that can see the full landscape of time and space when it comes to your journey on Earth. And with Lucid Dream, it's about you waking up inside of this construct and realizing that your heart is gently guiding you towards your chosen destination. Guidance from the stars, the galactic self, unified field, constant and permanent divine guidance and oneness. I'm connecting with the stars, receiving divine guidance in my dreams. I receive this energy and travel through space in my light body. I know this connection even if I've ignored it. And that's exactly what it is. It's not about a lack of calling, it's about a fear when it comes to answering that call. Maybe because of how something that you're going to be creating in this existence and answering the calling to create will be perceived or received by those around you. And this is about if you're creating from a space of like survival, which is the same experiences where you do not go beyond, I'm hearing, the limits that you had once defined for yourself, or allow the external to define upon you in some way. Anyway, you're going beyond that. I'm connecting with the stars, receiving divine guidance in my dreams. I receive this energy and travel through space in my light body. I know this connection even if I've ignored it. Are the stars... Okay, it's no longer abandoning the source path. That's what it feels like. Are the stars, because that's something that you're going to account for otherwise after this existence. Are the stars waking you up at night so that you can receive their information? These transmissions are reactivating your affinity with the stars and awakening your DNA. The stars are speaking to you. They are speaking about ancient times, ancient yet new. Time is only a linear construct, right? It's what it is that we use to measure time in this terrestrial plane, but really time is moving forwards and backwards at once, and you are an eternal essence that's experiencing a linear unfoldment. So you are infinite potential and a timeless consciousness that's navigating life on Earth, utilizing this vessel, the infinite experiencing itself through countless life forms. So they are speaking about ancient times, ancient yet new. So I'm hearing this as ancient wisdom that you're integrating into the modern age, if you want to call it like that. Time is a linear construct measured by consciences. Let the stars speak to you and receive their messages. The stars are telling you about your purpose on Earth, your purpose of compassion. Be guided by beings of light from the stars, by angels and guides from other star systems and planets. Many get inspiration when they look at the stars because they receive cosmic radiation. Even visualizing the stars can bring in this universal energy. And then you have blessings beyond the soul path. So this is something that you're going to take with you after this incarnation, okay? It's your ability to follow through with what it is that you had intended to. So blessings beyond the soul path, honor all life. Honor all life, exchange of joy without karma or sacrifice, paradigm shifts, blessing food. The universe invites me to give a blessing to everyone I see today, vocally or perhaps in silence. I'm bringing light, clarity, and abundance in their field, even without a word, and thus I'm creating the new earth. So this is a new earth emerging within you. I was also seeing it as you're silently inspiring those around you, like others are silently inspired by you or something that you're doing, or the potential that has. Now you also have ether and matter. So we'll go ahead and read this one. It's one of my favorites because, again, you can see the physical masculine that's merging with the non-physical feminine, which is the soul, and moving according to that essence. So this talks about spiritualized matter, new life sparkles, basking in the light, holistic integration, light and density, traveling through dimensions and non-judgment. I am ether in matter. Right? Remember that you're more non-physical than you are physical. Only 2% of your DNA is physical. Writing the proteins or the codes for this illusion of physicality that you're experiencing in this realm. I am matter and ether. I am one with all. So everything is conscious, playing with itself, experiencing itself through, again, countless life forms. The dance between ether and matter tells us about bringing heaven on earth. And again, with you being the archangel, it's very, very clear. Even if painful moments come up in the process, we're invited to be a conduit for etheric light by receiving light blessings in the physical realm. The dolphins help weave 𝓬𝓩 into an existence by traveling between different dimensions of ether and matter. This talks about basically interdimensional travel that's happening within you, and no longer feeling bound or anchored into an old paradigm. This is about your intention being your anchor. And you don't need, I'm hearing, external clarity or for others to understand or see you or your mission clearly. This is about you seeing yourself clearly and the things that you want to, I'm hearing, draw into fruition. So now you're finding your groundedness within yourself and you're weaving your highest truth. You are now completely swelling in a vortex of light, bringing a sparkle of transformation each time a bubble bursts. So this is, I'm hearing, like the bubble is your comfort zone. So each time you kind of disrupt your comfort zone, there is growth that's happening in your life, and that leads to some kind of evolution that you're witnessing, not just happen within you, but the things that you used to trip over, you're now able to step over with no issue. But you're seeing your ability to grow through that exercise of falling to pick yourself up, and it's almost like a 9 of Wands, Moon in Sagittarius energy, where you're farther now than you ever have been. And then of course you have healing, which is literally about the integration of these dualistic forces. So this one talks about gentleness of love realignment that's taking place, and not just external alignments, but again, this is due to new alignments that are forming within you, and also being more receptive. So in times of great suffering, many natural healing abilities activate to bring back harmony on a personal and collective level. Do you remember giving or receiving healing in other dimensions? Your cosmic gifts are activating. 𝓬𝓩 Star Child, and great healing is on your path. So all healing is to become whole with the soul, right? To look at your life through the lens of the soul and awaken within this construct. And remember that it's something that you had designed for yourself to play and create in. You're not just dreaming this experience into being, but you're actively living in your dream. So again, you can lucidly guide it towards whatever it is that you want to experience, right? A nightmare where beliefs are physical laws that you set upon yourself and they restrict the way that you create in this experience, or you can open up the runways of life force by clearing out, the belief systems that kind of pollute or cause debris within this system, and it impacts the way that you can actually become a conduit and life force begins to move through you. So the message is that dolphins and whales are called to bring in flow, and they used the bird tribe's perspective to view conditions from a higher altitude. And that's exactly what it is. It's about seeing your life on Earth and anchoring in high levels of awareness that extend far beyond and branch far beyond this system of matrix or this cosmic overlay. And you're bringing that knowledge and anchoring that into whatever it is that you're doing. You're acting upon that information that you're receiving that extends beyond a system of perceived limits. You're bringing I'm hearing the embodiment. You're embodying what it is to move through this existence with that awareness, with that remembrance of what it is to remember yourself, so they can access the multidimensional mind, which is always vibrant. So there's something around returning to that childlike state again, and that is what creation is, right? The divine feminine, divine masculine, these two dualistic forces coming into the alchemical marriage which is the Kundalini awakening, creates the triad, it creates the child, which is playful, that does not have limitations or restrictions on the way that they choose to move through this existence. And that's something that you're returning back to. So who were you before the world told you who you are? This is about you coming back to who it is that you've always been, which is a creator, a sovereign creator, and no longer just becoming a passive observer of your reality. So with that being said, guys, I am going to love and leave you right there. I trust that this message gave you everything that you need to hear at this time and space, in this space and time. If you've made it to this point, comment down below anything that you feel like is symbolic of the Empress. Whether that's a seed, whether that's like a baby bottle, whether that's a crown. Do something that you feel like is symbolic of the non-physical aspect of yourself. So I'll speak to you guys very, very soon. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing, especially if you want to stick around for future journeys. Personal reading details are also down below. Also check out Otter Spirit if you guys are looking for some high quality AA grade jewelry. Today I have citrine, which is knowing that you are successful and abundant. We have kunzite, which is a self-love stone, and rainbow moonstone, which is about creating miracles every day, and an intuition stone. So yes, discount code is down below, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Until next time, bye.
Clouds in the sky, don't care if I stay all day. Dreaming of time when you and I would